Hi guys, this is gsnom.com and I'm here with a very quick review of the Nokia One, the cheapest Android Oreo phone out there. Yes, you can remove its back cover and replace it with the Express One cover and make it sexier or change its looks. Let's try and remove it, but this review is not about that, it's about the full package. The phone is priced at around $58 in India, and in some other countries it's priced at around $80. Basically below $100 in most parts of the world. It has a detachable battery, it has very modest specs, but it has Android Oreo. By some miracle they call it Android Go. It has light versions of the apps. Now the design is obviously pretty basic, it's all plastic, but somehow it fits quite nicely in my hand, it snuggles in my hand and it's quite comfy to use with a single hand. Not a premium build, but pretty good ergonomics. Now on the screen front, I got a 4.5-inch screen with a 480 over 854 pixel resolution. It's an IPS LCD panel and frankly brings me back to the time of the TFT resistive screens. It's not resistive or TFT, but it reminds me of those times. It's a bit washed out and the colors aren't very bright, but it's one of the sacrifices for this. It feels a bit foggy, it has a purple texture a bit, and if you're trying to watch a video you will sense all of these things. So let's watch a video and discuss more about the device's screen. So I'm going to go here, and let's check it out. Okay, so this is what the viewing experience is like. Of course, you're going to be met with a hint of lag at some point. Let's solve this auto-rotate thingy. Okay, portrait, nearby, power save, come on. Now we're going to have to go to the settings for the auto-rotate thing, which is a bit annoying. As you can tell, there are also some quirks here. Of course, every once in a while you'll experience lag, but in the core apps on Android you won't. Talking about Gmail, talking about Maps, talking about even YouTube, believe it or not, they have Go versions. YouTube Go, Gmail Go, Maps Go, and so forth. Now this is the viewing experience. As you can see, a bit washed out. The colors are, I would say, okay, but they're also pretty washed out, and at least the view angles are decent. Now we also measured the brightness and we achieved a level of 262 lux units, which is not impressive for sure. Everything below 300 is lackluster. In general, 400 is okay. On the CPU front, we got a MediaTek MT6737M, which is actually not that bad. I've seen it on a bunch of phones. It's decent. It's a quad-core unit coupled with 1 GB of RAM, 8 GB of storage, micro SD card slot, and I wouldn't say there's lag per se in the core apps, but every once in a while it appears. And as I said before, quad core, 1 GB RAM, 8 GB of storage, of which you will have access to about 4 which are free for you to use, plus micro SD. Now believe it or not, Riptide GP Renegade runs here. I know it's a shock, but it actually does. So here we go. I'm going to give it a go. Also played Word with Friends, it worked quite nicely. And if you want benchmarks, well, in Antutu 6 this device was able to beat the Leti V1S. Yes, Leti V, they called it Leco at some point, and we managed to beat it. Of course there's lag, but the simple fact that it runs the game is a compliment of sorts. It also beats the Galaxy J5 2016 in Antutu 6, but it's below 150 other phones I've tested. In Geekbench 4 it's above the U-Hunts and the iHunt, and here we go, it runs Riptide through some sort of miracle. Some lag here, you can see it in the frame rate, and you can easily cover the speaker at the back. But I've seen worse, to be honest. I've seen much worse when it comes to the gaming. Now, something I forgot to mention about the screen, it behaves badly in the sunlight, so forget about the contrast here. Temperature is quite reasonable, 35.6 and 39.9 degrees Celsius in GFX Bench and Riptide GP Renegade, so no overheating. And once again, no lag per se in the core apps, but every once in a while it will get stuck. Now when it comes to the battery, let's see how we did. I have a bunch of tests for that as well. Let's go look for them and let's check out the battery. So you'll be surprised to know that in some aspects the battery was actually pretty okay. Now when it comes to continuous HD video playback, now 9 hours and 55 minutes, which is actually superior to the iPhone 7 Plus, which is a shocker. And when it comes to the PC mark, 7 hours 47 minutes, quite decent, which is above the HTC U12 Plus and also 100 other phones. Not bad. The charging is gigantic, 3 hours, and with 1 hour you're at only 37%. That's a bit of a bummer. Now on the acoustics front, we have the speaker here, which is easily covered on a flat surface. You're going to lose about 2 or 3 decibels once you're going to listen to music. So let's maybe listen to a tune and see what the experience is like. And I have to say, I'm not very impressed by it. It feels like it's broken. It feels a bit exaggeratedly loud. It's an experience best enjoyed at about 70% or 80% of the volume, and it also lacks bass. Now, of course, we also did tests, as we usually do, and those tests involve the decibel meter. So let's check it out, and we go here, and what we got here is 82.7 decibels. These were achieved when the phone faces up, and when the phone faces down, it goes to 83.4 decibels. Basically, it beats the Huawei P8 Lite and the Nokia 6 in Riptide GP Renegade, 93.9 decibels, which is above the Motorola Moto Z2 Play. Overall, rather poor, as are the headphones. I'm not happy about the bass and the strident sound. Now, on the camera front, things are rather simple. I wouldn't even recommend you use the camera. It's rather poor, to be honest, even for this price. We got a 5 megapixel shooter plus LED flash and a 2 megapixel shooter for the selfies. There's HDR, panorama and beauty plus a manual mode. They somehow made it within the options. Once again, it's a $50 or $80 phone depending on when you're living. I'm not even going to insist too much on the pictures. You're probably expecting to be let down, and I wouldn't call it a letdown because, well, to be honest, we were expecting this to happen. However, I'm going to focus on the best pictures, where when you're in the full sunlight, you can take a bunch of, let's say, almost decent selfies. And when you have the proper lighting, you can take these very nice statue shots. And I have to say the colors were okay most times. But you also have a lot of blurry and burned shots, and in general was not happy with the quality. I've seen 5 megapixel cameras on carbon handsets, which were a bit better, to be frank. Now, I won't even go to the video. The 3GPP, they're rather moved, not very impressive, and maybe only the colors are decent about them. Low frame rate, sometimes 15 frames per second, underwhelming. It's about the level of 2013 phone, 2014, something like that. But once again, okay colors. If there's one thing to praise here, that's maybe the colors. Okay, so that's it about the camera. If you want to see other photos and other videos, we have a full text review coming with more samples. And I say it again, you can pick a carbon phone with a better 5 megapixel camera at a similar price. On the connectivity front, this is a dual SIM machine with a micro USB port at the bottom. There's also Wi-Fi BGN, Bluetooth 4.2 FM radio, GPS, and believe it or not, it has 4G LTE. I don't know how, I don't know why, but it has 4G LTE. We actually put it to the test and voila. On 4G, we got as high as 62.2 mega per second downloads, not bad, 31.5 uploads mega per second. On Wi-Fi, 42.8 and 24.9. Not bad overall. When it comes to the software, it's a pretty clean and clear Android Go. It's basically Android Oreo with a simplified version of everything. We got Google Go, YouTube Go, Gmail Go, and Maps Go, but you can download the full apps from the Play Store if you want to. Something I like here is that the Files app, the Files Go, will make suggestions so you can use the device better. Every once in a while it told me to clean up the apps, clean up the cache, free some memory to make the functioning better. So Files Go is probably the best thing here because it advises you to do stuff and helps you organize things better. And Android Go, aside from having those basic apps, those basic Gmail, Google, Files Go apps, it also reduces the data transfers because it's meant for parts of the world where the connectivity is either slow or expensive. What else there is here? So we got, of course, the carousel for this multitasking, and let's see what else. Drop down section with notification and quick settings is basically your stock Android Oreo experience on a smaller screen, 4 GB free. And I've heard that Google Assistant Go should also be available here. These are the pre-installed apps, of course stock, nothing fancy, and a part of me wishes we had a fingerprint scanner here. You cannot make everyone happy, but is just a wish. This was a shorter than usual review for a smaller than usual phone with a smaller than usual price tag. Got pros and cons. On the pro side, it's cheap. It's got Android Go, which is clean, and I would be shocked if it didn't receive Android P at some point, which is crazy, because I'm sure the Galaxy S9 will receive Android P after it. I know it's crazy. It's got a removable battery, which is a plus, and actually the battery is not bad. It has 4G with pretty good speeds, and I would say the ergonomics are rather okay. These are the pros. Now, when it comes to the cons, the camera is a letdown. I'm sure you can get a better lower brand phone, 5 megapixel camera, which is better. There is a bit of lag in some apps. The speaker was underwhelming and the charging was very long. So basically it feels like a grandma phone or grandpa phone. That's my conclusion. And I'm not the target audience for sure. I am not. You're probably not the target audience either, but grandma or grandpa, maybe it's target audience. It feels like a phone that gets a 7 out of 10. That's the idea. But if you want a camera, you can do better, I'm sure. This is it from gsm.com. Bye bye.